Good day, ma'am. This is Chapter 5 Organizational Management by Mel Anthony Bailon and Jetrick Fabregas. Chapter Outline: Introduction to Organizational Management, Individual Behavior in the Workforce, Group Behavior in the Workforce, Organizational Culture in Change, and lastly, Chapter Review. Chapter Objective: To study human behavior in the work environment. Managers must be capable of working effectively in diverse teams with diverse skills and abilities. To articulate the important concepts of organization management as related to individual and group behaviors in sports facilities, including a description of the principles of motivation, stress management and well-being, leadership, use of power and authority, politics, conflict management, decision making, and problem solving. And lastly, to cover various leadership and organizational management concepts that affect international and global sports facility operations, including determinants of organizational culture in change and the effects of cultural diversity in global organization behavior. Introduction to Organizational Management. The job of a facility manager is best described in terms of management functions and roles. The four major functions of management are planning, organizing, leading, and coordinating or controlling. Planning involves selecting and prioritizing goals and objectives and the methods to be used to achieve desired results. Various types of planning are strategic planning, business planning, project planning, and staff planning. Coordinating or controlling activities include monitoring resources and processes to achieve goals and objectives in an efficient manner. Also, manager roles can be divided into three categories: interpersonal roles, informational roles, and decision making roles. Interpersonal roles are social in nature and include serving as a figurehead or face of the sport organization. Information roles include disseminating pertinent information to staff members and acting as a spokesperson to external constituencies. Manager also assumes a decision-making role that includes initiating change, resolving disputes, and conducting negotiations with internal and external entities. Individual behavior in the workforce. Individual worker differences are based on personal characteristics. Workers may differ regarding demographic factors such as gender, age, socioeconomic background, education level, race, and ethnicity. Positive emotional traits include being calm, enthusiastic, courteous, and friendly, which is a necessity when dealing with facility patrons. The facility manager must be dependable and responsible, organized, and an effective planner. To change a worker's attitude, three factors must be considered: trust in the facility manager, the message being communicated, and the situation itself. Typical values sought by organizations include respect, uncompromising integrity, trust, credibility, and desire for continuous improvement. Also, personal ethics, individual beliefs on what constitutes right and wrong or good and bad is another key factor for understanding individuals and organizations. Individual behavior in the workforce, motivation. Two foundational theories of motivation are Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Herzberg's two-factor theory. Maslow's hierarchy of needs model emphasizes five levels of individual needs, starting with basic physiological needs at the bottom and self-actualization needs at the top. Lower order needs such as food, security, and human contact must be satisfied first before progressing to the higher order needs that are concerned with personal development. Physiological needs are the first order of needs and include basic bodily needs, example, water, food, rest, and sleep. Physiological needs are satisfied when the individual is concerned with his/her safety needs or obtaining a secure environment. Social needs are addressed and this constitutes belonging to a group or affiliation with people. Esteem needs are addressed with concern for self respect, prestige, recognition, and appreciation. Self actualization needs are satisfied through self fulfillment and reaching one's fullest potential. Herzberg's two factor theory proposes two different sets of jobs factors. First, motivators. Motivators motivate and satisfy workers that relate to a higher order, and hygiene factors prevent dissatisfaction and relate to lower order needs. Motivator factors are intrinsic and include the work itself, responsibility, recognition, achievement, and job advancement. Hygiene factors are extrinsic and may include pay, status, job security, and coworkers or quality of management. Individual approaches to stress management fall into three categories: control, symptom management, and escape. Group behavior and teamwork. Two commonly formed types of groups are formal groups and informal groups. Formal groups include command tasks and team groups. Informal groups include interest groups and groups. Leadership. Leadership is the process of influencing followers or employees to attain organizational goals. Leaders provide direction, generate trust, take risks, and reinforce the belief that success will be attained. Specific traits and characteristics of effective leaders include self confidence, trustworthiness, emotional intelligence, desire for power and achievement, and a sense of humor. The Ohio State researchers concluded that employees conceptualize their leaders' behavior on two leadership dimensions: consideration and initiating structure. The University of Michigan researchers studied the differences in employee centered and production job or centered leaders. They are concerned with employees' personal advancement, growth, and achievement. Contingency theories of leadership. The contingency theory of leadership explains that the most effective style of leadership is dependent on factors relating to employees in the work environment itself. The two contingency theories of leadership are path goal theory of leadership and the situational leadership model. The essence, followers are on a path toward a goal, and leaders are there to help followers reach that goal through guidance, coaching, and direction. Path goal theory is a contingency theory in that it predicts how a leader's style will interact with the follower's needs and the nature of the task. The situational leadership methodology is based on the relationship between leaders and followers and provides a framework to analyze each situation based on the performance readiness level that a follower exhibits in performing a specific task, function, or objective. Uh, Paul Hersey and Kenneth Blanchard developed the Situational Leadership Model, or SLM, to assist leaders in selecting their leadership style based on the readiness of employees. Hershey and Blanchard developed four styles of leadership styles for managers to utilize depending on the readiness level of the employee. First, telling. The leader defines roles and tells employees what, where, how, and when to perform specific tasks. And the second is selling. The leader provides employees with instruction and is supportive. And next is participating. The leader and employees share in the decision making process to complete a quality job. And last, the delegating. The leader provides little instruction, directions, or personal support to employees. The key point to situational leadership is as the employee's readiness level increases, the leader should focus more on relationship behavior and less on task-oriented behavior. As an individual matures, become more skilled, he/she needs less direction, although he/she may still need some motivation and encouragement. Transformational and charismatic leadership. Charismatic leadership leaders also are sometimes called transformational leaders. because they share multiple similarities. Their main difference is focus and audience. Charismatic leaders often try to make the status quo better, while transformational leaders focus on transforming organizations into the leader's vision. Dysfunctional aspects of leadership. Effective leadership is an extremely important asset to the sport organization. However, it can also be its worst liability. The Plug Business Psychology Consulting Group highlighted dysfunctional leadership symptoms and common reasons leaders fail. First, conflict avoidance, micromanagement, manic executives, inaccessibility of leadership, game players, no 360 degrees feedback, personal agendas, and efficient use of resources. The influence of power and politics. Power is the ability to influence decision and control resources and is obtained in a variety of ways. So there are many variety of ways. First, interpersonal sources of power. Legitimate power, reward power, coercive power, expert power, referent power, structural power. Power may stem from access to resources such as money, labor, or technology. Additionally, the extent to which individuals can affect decision making and their accessibility to pertinent information affects power levels. Organizational politics is the use of informal strategies and tactics to gain power. Controlling vital information and keeping informed of organizational development is another key factor. Also, being courteous, pleasant, and using sincere flattery can influence people. Managing conflict. Intergroup conflict can be either functional or dysfunctional. Functional conflict enhances the organization's performance. Dysfunctional conflict hinders the organization's performance as employees. Waste time disagreeing and placing personal interests above the interests of organization. Three main causes of group conflict are work interdependence, goal differences, and perceptual differences. And also, there are five different styles to handle conflict resolution. These include competitive, accommodative, sharing, collaborative, and avoidant. Decision making and problem solving. Managers make decisions on a daily basis. Decisions are either program or non-program. Program decisions are repetitive and routine. An example of a program decisions for a facility manager is whether to increase the number of crowd management staff as the number of spectators increases. Non-program decisions are new and unique and have no pre-established guidelines to avoid decision making. An example of a non-program decision for a facility manager is whether to relocate a sports facility to a new site. Managers make decisions under three types of condition: certainty, risk, and uncertainty. The decision-making process involves several key elements. First, establish specific goals, objectives, and measurable results. Identify and define the problem. Establish priorities. Consider causes of the problem identified. Develop alternative solutions. Evaluate alternative solution. Select best solution. Implement and follow up. Management requires two ideas per month from workers. Forming heterogeneous groups, diverse groups may bring various viewpoints. Offering financial incentives, paying employees for useful suggestions, and designing a creative space within the building. Organizational culture and change. Organizational culture is a system of shared values, beliefs, assumptions, and understanding that influence worker behavior. A strong tech organizational culture is characterized by employees sharing the sharing the same core values. A weak or thin organizational culture is one in which employees do not possess common values. Organizational culture has the potential to affect organizational effectiveness. Managers can create an appropriate organizational culture by setting a vision and getting employees excited about the fundamental purpose of the organization. And last is to avoid change overload and try to make small changes over a period of time instead of zipping changes overnight. Cultural diversity and global organizational behavior. Cultural diversity in the workforce is important in today's global economy. To value diversity, one must value a wide range of cultural and individual organizational healing. Organizational healing is defined as the efforts related to repairing the social aspects of the organization, including issues related to continuity, vision, and broken self concepts that are needed if an organization is to operate in a strong, fit, and well manner after an actual or other perceived negative situation. Organizational healing content. One of the best methods to implement a process of organization healing in a sports facility is to stop all operation, close the doors, and focus solely on healing. The overall goals of this process are to reinforce the importance of each individual and an integral part of the overall organization, to create and maintain a process of open communication and connection, to enhance and strengthen the organizational culture, and to develop new organizational bonding methods that create new unity, sense of stability, and belief in the organization. Table 5.2, Cross-Cultural Values. A truly diverse organization is one where all employees, regardless of cultural backgrounds, achieve their full potential. Diverse groups are more likely to develop creative solutions to problems. Effectively, managing a diverse work group can prevent turnover and absenteeism. To understand how to work well, the diverse group one must be first examine different cultural values. Individualism versus collectivism, high power distance versus low power distance, high uncertainty avoidance versus low uncertainty avoidance, materialism versus concern for others, long term orientation versus short term orientation, formality versus informality, urgent time orientation versus casual time orientation. Chapter review. A key difference between managers and leaders is that managers preserve order and consistency, whereas leaders deal with change in a rapid changing competitive environment. Second, four types of leaders' behaviors are directive leadership, supportive leadership, participative leadership, and achievement oriented leadership. Also, Hershey and Blanchard, 1988, developed four styles of leadership for managers to use depending on the maturity level of the follower: telling, selling, participating, and delegating. Transformational leaders influence major changes in the attitudes and assumptions of staff members and are capable of building commitment for major changes in the organization's objective and strategies. Uh, Charismatic leaders exude several key characteristics. These include their ability to establish an organizational vision or lofty goal, are masterful communicators, inspire trust, are energetic, and are adept at impression management. Dysfunctional leadership symptoms may include conflict avoidance, micromanagement, inefficient use of resources, and no 360 degrees feedback. Organizational culture is a system of shared values, beliefs, assumptions, and understanding that influence worker behavior. Diverse groups, diverse organizations have a competitive advantage, potential, and offer benefits in various ways. Marketing advantage over a multicultural client base, lower turnover and absenteeisms, reduces likelihood of discrimination lawsuits, advantages in recruiting top talent from minority groups, and possess creativity advantage. And lastly, to understand how to work well with diverse groups, one must first examine different cultural values. This is our reporting, ma'am. And thank you po.